All right, now we move into another subsection of this clean melody. You can tell something different's happening here. What a lovely chord that is. All right, so for this, it's the 7th fret of the A string. We're still in octaves. Pick it twice, slide down to the 5th fret, and all the way down to the 2nd fret. And now back up to the 5th fret. And then that final part there, 5th, slide to the 2nd, pick the 2nd again, slide up to the 3rd. So you go. And chord of the week there. That's just a C power chord. That's 3rd fret of the A, 5th fret on the middle 2 strings, but arch your index finger so that you can hear the top 2 strings ringing out open. And while we've got that chord, we might as well enjoy it. So we now arpeggiate it as a little bit of a fill, near the bridge again. So that's just A string, D string, top E, B, and G. And to start the next bar, you slide up here, 3rd fret to 5th fret on the A string. And now, while no one's looking, sneak up another 2 frets. And pick that shape on the D and B strings twice and slide down 2 frets. And now back here, 7th fret again. This time you slide up 2 frets. Back to the 7th, 5th, and now 5th on the A and G strings. Rounding it off with 7th on the D, sliding up a tone. So from there we've got about time for another Hendrixy fill, I think, and here it is. So once again, based on that 7th fret minor 7th shape. And the actual notes here are E string, 7th fret, hammer on at the 10th, pull off, and now you go to the G and B strings. Just hammer on the B string, let the G string ring through. So it's hammering onto the 10th and pulling off again. And then this shape here, just slide up, and as you slide up from here, you're aiming for this shape, a minor 9th. So that's a bar at the 12th fret from the D string all the way towards the floor, adding your 3rd finger on the 14th fret. So you pluck that and cut it off. So that section, one more time. All right, now back to some octave shapes. Another great chord. So for this part, it's a start at the 7th fret on the A string. Pick it twice, slide down 2 frets, and down another 3, and pick it again. And then slide up back to the 5th fret, cut it off, pick it 2 more times, and slide down there again. And basically what we're looking forward to is this chord here. 2 ways you can play that. That's the more sensible way. 5th fret on the A, 7th on the D, 5th on the G, and these 2 open. If you're naturally lazy like me, you might prefer that way, where you're kind of barring with the first joint of your index finger, but then folding the rest of it away from the strings. Everyone's fingers are different. Some people enjoy doing that, some people don't, so take your pick there. That's the more technically correct fingering. Anyway, after that, we move up to a little bluesy fill there. I think it's probably easiest to learn this just as a single note fill and then thicken it out. So basically what you need is the G string at the 12th fret, bend it up a bit, let it down, and then pull off to the 10th fret. And now slide up 2 frets from there, repick, and up to the 12th. Down again. and end with this chromatic 12, 11, 10 movement on the D string. Now, if you kind of bar your fingers around that melody and be a little bit more reckless about which notes you pick, you get, which hopefully you'll agree sounds more like what's on the record. The hardest bit about that is probably knowing how to bend with a bar, trying to bend all three of those strings. It's best not to think about it too hard, you just go for it. So long as you hear some kind of bending effect there, the lick should come out sounding authentic. Time for some more octaves now. Back to the D string set, 7th fret, slide down to, and repeat. So for that bar you've got, and for the start of the next bar, where the C chord comes in, basically that melody. So 7th fret on the D, slide up to, cut off, all the way down to the 5th fret, 7th fret there, move on to the A string, and for your last trick, D string at the 5th fret. And now for some fun with harmonics. So what we're doing there is just resting that index finger lightly over the top 4 strings and just doing a little raking motion with the picking hand. Rounding it off with a 14th fret real note, not a harmonic, on the A string. Sliding up, barely audible on the recording, but it is there. 14th fret up to the 15th fret. So just for the sake of timing, let's check that whole section again. And now for a strange jazz lick. If anyone's interested, this is the F Lydian dominant mode. The sort of scale you might use over the Simpsons chord. And so perhaps these are not the most normal notes if you've been brought up on a diet of rock. But what we've got here, we start on the A string, 5th fret. And then 5th fret again, 6th, 8th. And now we jump straight onto the G string set of octaves. And that's the 8th fret again, but this time your little finger's reaching as far out as the 11. And you round it off with a slide up to the 9 on the D string and back down to the 7. So that whole lick again. Now when the chord changes again, I think we have an F sharp minor 7, as I recall. That's a simple melody, just climbing up the D string, 9 again, 11, 12, and now slide from where you are up to the 14. And for no apparent reason, he now moves right down here. You hear those 2 open strings, the top 2, and the 2nd fret on the G. Now back to the octaves up here. So that melody there starts on the D string, 9, 9, 11, 12, and now move on to the G string, 12 and quickly slide up to 14, back to 12, finally 11, then a little gap, and end the bar at the 9th fret. So that whole bar would be 2, 3, 4. Okay, and one final tricky thing in this little segment. You hold that octave, pick it again, and try and bend it up a semitone and release it. Now you slide down, and now bring it back up. So on the G string alone, it would be... And when you bring the octave in, you might feel a little funny at first. So long as you lock those 2 fingers in shape, you should be okay. And now for a lot of jazz chords in a very short space of time. So what we have there, you bar your first finger at the D string all the way down, add your middle finger at the 15th fret on the B and your little finger 17th fret on the E. So we slide up to that, that's your first chord. Then this one, which is a bar from the G string all the way down at the 12th fret, your middle finger adding the 14th fret note. So now down again, that's 9 on the G, 10 on the B, 12 on the E. Then the same shape again, 2 frets lower. Now we move on to the D string, 9th fret bar, over the 2 middle strings with your little finger at the 12th fret there. So you play that shape, move it down 2, slide up, back to where you were, and then end just by hitting a 9th fret bar from the A down to the G strings. And that's the end of the first melody section.